My name is Silas. For 30 years, I've been the night watchman at Blackwood Cemetery. People in town know me, but they look right through me, like I'm already part of the graveyard. I didn't choose this life. My legs have been failing me for years. And after losing my home and family, I had nowhere else to turn. When I got this job, I moved into a tiny guard shack by the gates. It's barely big enough for a chair and a cot, but it's a roof. The town council stopped funding this place years ago. They figured there was nothing left to guard, but they're wrong. They don't know what happens here after dark. It's a lonely existence, living among the dead, but here, the silence is my only friend. Every day is the same, until the sun dips below the horizon, and the real life of this graveyard begins. You think you know fear? Spend just one night here, and you'll realize how little you know about the shadows that watch you when you think you're alone. It was November 26th, a night I'll never forget. I hadn't eaten all day, so I walked to Jamie's shop right across from the cemetery gates. It's a local spot where bikers hang out, laughing and drinking. I bought a katu with my last few coins. When I walked back inside the graveyard, the air felt different, heavy and cold. I sat on a stone bench behind the crematorium to eat. But the moment I opened the container, a foul, rotting stench hit my nose. It smelled like death itself. I was furious. I marched back to Jamie's shop. But he was shocked. He gave me a fresh one, but my heart was racing. How could a fresh meal smell like a rotting corpse? I ignored it. But as I walked back, the heavy iron gates groaned. That screeching sound, it always felt like someone, or something, was fighting to hold them open. My hands were shaking. I just wanted to eat and sleep, but the cemetery felt alive tonight. I sat back down to eat. The air was thick with the scent of pine and decay. That day, 4 COVID, 9 victims had been brought in. The families were crying, their voices echoing through the trees as they left the bodies behind. It's a sad reality, seeing all this misery. After I finished, I heard a sharp noise from behind the crematorium near the ash collection area. My heart hammered against my ribs. Like a caged bird, I grabbed my flashlight, a small, battery-operated thing, and walked toward the sound. I swept the light across the cold concrete. But there was nothing, just empty space, and that lingering, unnatural chill. I felt eyes on me, thousands of them. Staring from the darkness of the graves, I washed my hands, my skin crawling, and retreated to my shack. I locked the door and prayed for morning, but the night was far from over. It was past midnight. I was staring at the security monitor, watching the crematorium. That's when my blood turned to ice. The heavy wooden doors, which I knew were locked, flew open with a deafening bang. They stood wide open, as if someone or something was holding them from the inside. My hands shook so hard, I almost dropped my radio. On the screen, I watched the gurney start to move, sliding slowly toward the incinerator, all by itself. It wasn't my imagination. It was a physical, terrifying reality. I wasn't sick, and I wasn't dreaming. Something was in there with me, playing with the machinery of death. My shack felt like a prison. I gripped the arms of my chair, paralyzed by a force I couldn't understand. The silence was broken only by the sound of my own ragged breathing. As I watched the impossible unfold on my screen, suddenly, the light inside the crematorium exploded. Darkness swallowed everything. My heart hammered so hard, I thought it would stop. When the camera feed flickered and cleared a few seconds later, The doors were shut tight, and the gurney was back in its place. Perfectly still. Everything looked normal again, but the dread remained. I sat in my shack, shivering, convinced that I had crossed a line. Was it a spirit? Or something far worse? I've seen things here that would break a normal man, but this was different. This was just the beginning. I'm Silas, and if you think this is terrifying, just wait. There's so much more hiding in these graves, waiting to be told. Subscribe, and I'll share the rest of my story, if you're brave enough to listen to the secrets of Blackwood Cemetery.